Alright, yet another solo day at the Glen. This was supposed to be like a super hyped send day. I felt very confident about this project I've been working on. It was a long-term project that I think I actually started to turn into a short-term project, and now I think it's back to being a long-term project, but we'll get into that when we get down there. Before we get to the problem, here's a little lead up for context. This year has been all over the place, and as a result, this story is as well. So just bear with me. Now let's get to that disjointed story. Alright, so here we are, and where do I start? I guess this is kind of a continuation from the last climbing video I really put out, which was Energy Crisis. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It kind of leads up to this in a way. I left that video talking about how I wanted to project and try something harder and actually put effort into something. I was coming out of that video after having surgery. They cut through a lot of my abdomen, so I didn't really have much core. So I spent the winter kind of just hangboarding and preparing myself to hopefully be able to hold on to some harder holds. And when I came out that season, this was the first problem that I hopped on. At first it seemed impossible. I thought it was going to be this forever project, but I started to have little bits of breakthroughs, and I felt like it might actually be possible, even with me having like absolutely no core. And that was kind of the crux for me, was keeping my body in the wall with lack of abs, essentially. So we'll actually go to that footage, and we'll kind of come back to this after you catch up to speed. So same parking lot, same car, same Magnum pads, same dude, different day, and way different temperatures. Oh, all right, so it's a beautiful day out here. Maybe not the nicest day for climbing because it's like 30 degrees Celsius and humid, but we're gonna go down and see what we can actually find to climb. All right, not the greatest sign. I've walked like 20 feet and I'm already out of breath and I'm tired. Oh, this is gonna be a very hot day. Here again, Orient Express. Named after the luxury rail service that connected Europe to Asia, I assume, maybe because of it being a 3-star problem, the highest in the guidebook, or maybe because of what appears to be a discarded rail tie that we all use as a bench. Likely the remnants of a railway that brought tourism here at the turn of the century. If you know, please leave a comment. Now, back to more recent history. Oh, alright, so here we are. We are at Orient Express. This is a problem I have tried once-ish before. I tried holding on to some of the holds early on, didn't get very far, and then I put one session on it the other week. So this is where we've landed, and I'm gonna see how much work I can put in here and what I can actually accomplish today. It's pretty swampy, and this is hardly the problem to be trying when it's hot out. The holds are kind of, I guess, a little friction dependent, at least for me. So let me show you the holds and you'll see what I'm talking about. This line follows a bunch of oddly shaped pockets, starting with this always greasy seeping scoop. You start hands stacked in it, eventually replacing your hands with a heel to keep you in as you move through a series of oddly convenient pinches that I don't use. You will see what I mean as you follow my progress in this video. This leads to a few awkward hand switches to get you into a position to switch your feet in that slick scoop that you start in. One of the cruxier moves, especially with my weakened core, that gets you out of the roof to the slopey divot, an awkward pocket, a spocky crimp, and then to some better holds you cross through until you hit that final flat edge finish, avoiding dabbing on this rock. Worth noting, there are other subtly different solutions to this problem. I believe there are actually about 3. However, this was the solution I found, and mostly climbing on this boulder alone, I was unaware that there might have been an alternative option I could have tried. Mainly, I was just following the obvious line in chalked holds. Anyhow, really cool, really classic boulder, and even in swamp-like conditions, I was ready to pull on again. Or was I? Alright, so today's phrase is negative progress. I did a lot better last time I was on this boulder. It was less sweaty, so we can blame conditions today, I guess, but I think I'm gonna wrap it up because I'm only getting more tired and I'm bound to hurt myself, so we'll get back to this boulder, hopefully not too long from now, and hopefully a day that's a little bit less sweaty, so until next time. Alright, so now you're all caught up to speed, and that brings us to today. So I left those videos feeling pretty confident I could climb this problem, but maybe a little bit defeated that it hadn't gone yet. I kind of felt like I was stuck in the same place, and I felt like I just need to train and get a little bit stronger. And since then, we got a puppy, which you hopefully have seen the video of. We moved, and I got a lot weaker, and I hadn't climbed at all, and my expectations were pretty low on this boulder. And then I hopped on it, early this year after climbing all day, and the moves kind of went. Like, I overlapped it all but I think 2 moves. So I thought maybe I should hop on it again because now I had some core back, but I was weaker. And on Thanksgiving weekend, I stuck a steak knife through my hand, and that put me out of commission for quite a while. So this is actually my first time really back on this boulder, and I'm running on about 2 hours sleep. So my expectations are pretty low, but I'm gonna work all the moves, and hopefully if I don't get it today, I'll come back in a few days. And if I have any luck at all, hopefully it's gonna go down. Alright, so not absolutely terrible for a first go, but I messed up relay hand placements and one of the feet, which is kind of a cruxy move, so confidence might still be a little bit low, but we'll keep trying. That theme again, negative progress. I've been growing this unruly mane since the start of COVID. Great for headbanging, but a terrible, terrible distraction when trying to climb. I needed to simplify my environment. That meant no more hair flying around and no more sweater suffocating me. The damn thing started feeling like a straitjacket, so off it went. Then I took a step back and decided to work on all the moves and dial them in. The result this detailed footage of all the moves so you can see why I keep falling off of these holds. For some reason, I suck at pinches, especially if they're above my head. This problem was no exception. So, half and open-handed crimps all the way for me. The feet on this problem aren't particularly friendly either, even though they might look it. The scoop is slippery and the foot switch is awkward, especially with long legs in this saggy front lever position. This hold speaks for itself, but with some good opposition and conditions, it's surprisingly reliable when you really put the squeeze on. And this crux heel might look decent, but it's just a very sloping, angled edge that is lacking texture, to say the least. I made up for my weaker hands and core by really actively squeezing between the two footholds to make them almost like a wide-span bicycle and focusing on my hip position to start to roll me into the next holds. People mistake this as a difficult finger strength problem. I know I did, but the reality is that it is actually quite technical. I think I learned a lot about my climbing while working on this problem. But beyond this detailed footage for this video, the more important result from all of these isolated burns was confidence. I managed to overlap all the moves in different places tens of times. They started to feel natural, which they never had before. I knew I had this. I just needed to focus, breathe, and execute. So it seemed from the last attempts, the less layers, the better, so I knew what must be done to string everything you just saw together. So, tops off. Alright, it didn't work, but close. Alright, so I tried for a shirtless send, and I got pretty damn close. It seems with each layer I take off, I get a little bit further in the problem. Maybe I'm just warming up, or maybe it has something to do with, a camera being on and the shirt being off. If you watch Magnus's channel, you probably have heard about the shirt off, camera on power you get. And maybe I'm channeling a little bit of that, but we're gonna try that again. I feel actually like so close to doing this. I just gotta put it down. So here we go again. Shirt off, chalked up, belt tightened, deep breaths. This was going to be it, right? Please note the falling leaf foreshadowing my downward spiral of progress on this attempt, and the mental fallout of that. Why did I think I could send this problem, my hardest yet, on no sleep after not climbing for weeks, and after only about 3 or 4 real sessions on this boulder? I was frustrated, so I took a break for a few minutes, and knowing my time was numbered, I made the next attempt count. Excuse the douchey pull-up, but I was f***ing stoked. Alright, so the psych is pretty high. I just sent this problem and it felt super good. I'm a little ticked off that my feet cut kind of twice at the end. It wasn't as clean as I wanted, but I think I was getting ahead of myself and just thinking about the last hold and my feet started to cut. But oh man, I feel pretty stoked. This is the hardest problem outside that I've climbed, which is V8, so it's pretty exciting for me. And I'm still not fully recovered from my surgery and I am out of shape, so I'm hoping that means there's some other things around the corner that I'll be able to send. But man, I think I'll just end it there. I'm super happy and I hope that you're stoked for me as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like my content. I greatly appreciate it. Oh, they're sending the news helicopters in right now if you hear that. All right, anyway, take it easy. Peace out.